Hey, good morning, everybody. Out at the shop today, and it is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. We're going to be doing a couple of different things today, so we'll probably have two different videos from today's cooks. But this one going to be about the ribs, because you know everybody loves the ribs. Excuse me. So I have got 8 racks of spare ribs here. And I've been working on them. I don't know how well the camera can show them, and I'm filming alone, so, you know. Anyway, I've got them trimmed up, except for one, and I'm gonna show you how I did all of them, just so you can kind of get an idea of what we're going up against. Now, again, these are spare ribs, and the spare ribs have a little bit of extra meat on the flap down here. They've got extra meat on the top, extra meat on the ends, everything like that. So what we are doing is we are cutting these down to be more of a St. Louis style rib. That way we can have a little bit straighter, cleaner cuts to them. Now, one thing I've found, and we do try to take the membrane off, silver skin as you guys know it, is this meat flap can tend to get in our way. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna remove this to get it the heck out the way. She gets in the way sometimes. So we just cut that off. And don't worry, we're not gonna waste all these trimmings that we take off either. No. We got plans for that. Now we've got the silver skin. Now the silver skin on these ribs does not cover the entire rib. It doesn't cover it at this end, but definitely down here. So we're trying to use that old technique. You know, you've seen us try to use it before. And again, I am not the best at doing this. I don't get to cook ribs very often, which is why on a special occasion, like Thanksgiving, I like to cook them. That and I just, you know, we've got 2 big turkeys that we're doing as well. We've got a lot of people coming. You know, maybe somebody doesn't like turkey so much, and I could do a ham and whatever, but you know, I like doing ribs. I love eating ribs. They're amazing to eat. So we're gonna have ribs as well. And since we have so many people coming, I've got 8 racks. So we've got quite a few. And there's gonna be some technique to getting these all into one cooker as well. Now, there's a video that we did several years ago that showed a technique you can use when you have lots of ribs and only one cooker. No big deal. We can do it. But again, the hardest part for me, at least, maybe it's because of my limited dexterity, maybe it's because of my limited experience. Whatever you want to say, it's all right. But I like to get the silver skin off. And we've talked about this in the past too, where some people will say you absolutely have to leave it on to help keep the moisture in, and there's some validity to that. Other people will say, well, you just cut it. You just take your knife and you score it back and forth. That way the smoke and the meat and the flavors, can still penetrate it, but you don't lose that moisture barrier so much. Me personally, I am a firm believer in removing it because I think it gets in the way. So we always try to remove them in nearly all of our cooks. There you can see we got her coming off pretty good. Hopefully that shows up on camera. Again, I'm doing this alone, so a little tougher, but nothing we can't handle. Here I'm just trimming off some of this extra hard fat that's down there. Get that out of the way as well. Just a little piece, there we go. And we got that removed. Now the other thing I want to do is I'm going to flip these over. And again, I'm relatively lazy, so I don't like to do a lot of extra work to these. But some of these have an extra flap of meat that'll be folded over on them. Other ones like this one don't have that extra flap, but you can kind of feel where your bones are. And for me, I like to cut the excess meat off. So our last bone feels like it's right about there. So we're gonna go through and cut this off to kind of just square that end up a little bit. It'll make a little bit better presentation of it. I'm also going to take this bottom off because most of this is just fat. But again, we're not going to waste that. We'll just put that in the tray to the side. So a relatively simple preparation for our ribs. Make them look a little nicer, almost like a St. Louis cut, but not quite. So we're going to let that be like it is. We got a little while before cooking's got to happen, but I wanted to get these prepared ahead of time. So when it is time to cook, my son's coming out to give me a hand. We want to be ready for when he gets here. So our next step is going to be putting the dry rub on, so let's do that. Alrighty. So it is about almost 9 o'clock in the morning. You guys know, because you watch the channel and you're smart people, that we like to do things low and slow. So that's what we're going to be doing for our ribs today. If I can figure out where the heck I put everything, we can get started on doing our ribs. And I can't find anything. Where'd they go? Oh, there they are. I found them. Here we are. No problem. Gotta have some special equipment for today's rib video. Oh, we got it right here. All right, let's get started. So as I said, we're going to be trying to cook 8 racks of spare ribs, and we're going to be cooking all of those at once on our barrel smoker. You've seen the Ugly Duckling smoker before. That's what we're going to be using today. So we've got to try to figure out a way to make 8 racks of ribs fit on a 22-inch grill top. So the first thing we're going to do is we made up some dry rubs ahead of time. You guys are familiar with salt, peppers, garlic, paprikas, onion powders, all that stuff. All the goodies. We are just gonna dry rub. It'd be helpful if I could put some on the ribs, but hey, you know, who's counting? We're gonna get some of that good stuff on our ribs. Now remember, we pulled off the membrane, so we should have lots and lots. Boy, I'm gonna need about 10 pounds more dry rub. That's all right, we'll make it work. Pulled that silver skin off, so we've got plenty of adhesion on the bottom, plenty of penetration for our dry rub, no sweat. We got this. And we're gonna do that to all 8 racks of these ribs. I'll move them over to the side here while we get some more done. And then we'll show you what we're gonna do once we get them dry rubbed. Actually, you know what, I'll show you with this one. And then I can just get these done off camera. You don't have to sit and watch me do this, because it's gonna get boring pretty fast. But we're just putting on the dry rub. I probably should be over here a little farther. That's only gonna cut about 2 of these. Woo. Good thing I made extra. Might run out though. I might have to use some of our other dry rub that we have here. That's okay, we can do that. All right. So there's some dry rub. Now, how are we gonna lay 8 of these out? Well, we're going to use a crown method. I believe it's called the crown method. And it's pretty self-explanatory what it does. We got our bamboo skewers. And we're going to take these ribs that we've now dry rubbed, and we are going to make a circle out of them. We're going to take the old skewer, and we're going to put the skewer through and make a little crown out of that rib rack. I will show you that again just in case. Maybe you didn't see it. Maybe you were distracted. That's all right. So we skewer them through both flats, or both ends, if you will, somewhere in the middle. And that'll hold them together. And these things can actually stand vertically and cook in our smoker. And once we get down to the, you know, where they're 3 or 4 hours in, the bones are starting to show, and we go to wrap these things, we'll lay them back flat and we'll wrap them flat. That way they'll still be flat and nice and neat and everything like that. We won't be trying to eat them in a circle. You know what I mean? So let me get these dry rubbed. My son's on his way here, so we're going to be starting the fire real soon and getting these racks on. We'll show you that in just a little bit here. Okay, so I got the phone down. I can actually do something. So there's our racks of ribs. We've got them all crowned up and ready to go on the grill. I said my son's on his way here. I'm waiting for him to go light the fire. We got to get those on real soon. Turkey's doing their thing there. But here's what I did with the leftovers, because we don't like to waste. So I added dry rub to the thing. I cut them up into about 1-inch squares, give or take. You know, some of them couldn't quite be an inch because they were cut off smaller than an inch. But we did the best we could. What we're going to do is we're going to put this below the ribs in the smoker, and it'll serve a couple of purposes. Number one, we can make like our own little burnt ends. But we can also use this to make extra moisture to keep our ribs moisture level up, and we'll have a little extra snack, a little burnt end action. So we're gonna give that a try. I've never done that before. Usually people say, oh, burnt ends, you know, that's from brisket and blah, 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 blah. Well, we're going to try it this way and see what happens. Stick around. And we're out here using our barrel smoker, the Ugly Duckin' smoker. As you can see, let's check it out and see how it goes. I got to grab my glove quick. Put my gloves down on the other smoker here so I can get my phone out. And I forget to take the lid off. Pardon me for a minute. Let me get this. I got to put you down. Sorry about that. There we go. So we're running about 250-ish in there with our ribs. And take a look. You can see those ribs are all in there, all crown shaped, ready to rock and roll. And down below, look closely, you can see that pan down there. She's got all those little ends that we cut up and dry rubbed. Those will probably get done a little bit faster, maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So we'll check on those in a little while. We got to get the temperature up just a little bit in this guy. This one don't hold its temperature quite as well as it should, but we've got it running wide open. And we may end up having to pull it out and put more fuel in. There's a fair amount in there. We just got to get it going. Anyway, we'll have a little snack probably right about noon. And then we'll probably have to pull the ribs off and wrap them. And then we'll put them back in the smoker, just stack them up because when they're wrapped, it won't matter. So we'll show you that in a little while. All right, so I kind of had my hands full today doing these ribs. And they did take a lot longer than I wanted them to go. But they did turn out. We have got a whole pan of spare ribs. They are phenomenal. In fact, maybe I'll just have one now. You can see the bones pulled back like it's supposed to. And I wrapped them. I wrapped them for probably wrapped for an hour. Let's see that smoke ring in there? It's beautiful. God, I love ribs. I love them. I should make them more. The only thing I can tell you, gang, is I should make them more. But, meantime, I got to get to eating. You can see everybody's here. We're going to go have some Thanksgiving dinner. Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. Appreciate you checking out the video. Like, share, subscribe. Ring-a-ding the bell notification. Comment below. Let me know what you think of these spare ribs. Until next time, gang. I made ribs and we're going to eat them. You can do it too. See ya.